Well, thank you for watching Morning Live. Now, last Tuesday, the Makhanda High Court in the Eastern Cape ordered that the Makana Municipality be dissolved and placed under administration for violating its constitutional mandate by failing to provide basic services. The provincial government is considering appealing the ruling. Now, the case was brought by the Unemployed People's Movement, who argued that the municipality failed to meet its constitutional obligations to provide basic services and to promote social and economic development for residents. So for their perspective on this matter, we're joined now by Koena Ramotlou, who is the General Secretary of the South African Municipal Workers Union, SAMWU. Thanks so much for coming through.
Thank you very much, and morning to the viewers.
So firstly, how would SAMWU describe the situation in the Makana Municipality?
The municipality has been in this situation for some time. In fact, if you go through the AG's report that was released recently, in that report, they indicate that the Makana is part of the other municipalities that have regressed on audit. And in fact, he specifically indicates that the same municipality does not have requisite people at the senior level, which that will translate in it being unable to can have necessary skill in the institution to can now plan for service delivery. It has went further. This municipality, for some time last year, it issued a communique to workers to say they will not pay them salaries for 3 months. And not paying workers for 3 months, that means that there is nothing that goes to their pension that will affect their payout at the end. Secondly, it means workers' medical aids were not paid. In that context, we have even from our side as SAMWU been in contact with COGTA at national level since last year, June, not only about Makana, but other municipalities in the country who are in the similar condition. And we are not pleased by the comment that comes from the provincial government, because the court judgment, what it does, it makes them to go and do what they're supposed to do in terms of the constitution. They should not be going around doing anything about money of the public to appeal a judgment that is making them to be able to can do their work to save that municipality. It cannot go on like that, that the municipality, I mean, the provincial government wants to even have an appetite to even consider not saving that municipality from where it is. Because once they come in, our belief is that they will be able to can at least put systems in place, ensure that community is able to can receive services. Because at the state where it is now, they can't deliver service. For example, workers might want to go and do street sweeping or litter picking. There is no petrol. What must they do? They can't go there. Therefore, it means the interest of the provincial government, it is not where it's supposed to be. And from our standing was saying, if they continue with the same approach they want to have an appetite about appealing that judgment, we will request National COGTA to come in terms of the same law on section 1397 to intervene and take over that municipality so that at least community can be able to receive services.
So what are you basing this optimism on, that there would be some relief, some form of improvement in terms of service delivery if the administrator comes through and takes over? What are you basing that optimism on?
Our understanding is that when they come in, the first thing will be to look at systems that are supposed to be in place. Secondly, will be to ensure that financial management in the institution can be streamlined to be able to prioritize service delivery. Also, it will also ensure that the difficulty that they've been having within the municipality and National Treasury on the release of equitable share, there might be some sort of accountability that might be done so that National Treasury can release equitable share. For example, now, National Treasury has not released equitable share for December to that municipality because they've not been able to account of what they received previously. If someone else comes in that space, we believe that we will be able to move to a different direction and ensure that at least that municipality is saved from where it is.
So as SAMWU's national executive, you have issued a statement saying you welcome last week's judgment, but the SAMWU regional office seems to not be in agreement. They have, in fact, gone as far as to distance themselves from your statement. Why is that?
No, I think it was just a misunderstanding, because once after we realized that they've now issued that communication, personally I've spoken to the regional chairperson of that area to say what is the context. He assured me to say the misunderstanding was about what should they be communicating, because they thought the municipality is going to be closed down. Therefore, when you explain the context properly of what is the meaning of what we're dealing with here, they were able to understand exactly where we're going.
What do you mean they thought the municipality was going to be closed down? What does that even mean? Does it mean that they are not au fait with what's going on? They're not au fait with what the judgment said and what the implications thereof would be?
When you say a municipality is going to be dissolved, what comes to play is that people might not be able to go back to work. They might be retrenched. And the implications of the context of the judgment, we had to ensure that we are at one and in understanding the context of the judgment, that workers will not be retrenched. They will still be able to go back to work. The only thing that needs to happen now is to go and at least explain in context to workers to say this judgment, in fact, it is a step in the right direction for them to be able to continue to have their livelihood.
So as an affiliate of COSATU, have you raised this at a broader level with the Trade Union Federation, who are, of course, a member of the Tripartite Alliance?
In fact, we were in the ANC Lekgotla ourselves, as I'm part of the delegates there, which form part of the COSATU team. We have raised this issue yesterday in the commission. We are going back to the commission again to indicate that it's not only Makana. We have over 41 municipalities in the country that are under administration. And we're saying, yes, it's a step in the right direction to put them under administration, but it is not sustainable. Let's discuss how better we can ensure that the skills that they are bringing in when they bring in the administration can be sustained in the same municipality to take them forward so that they, at least they are able to go out of the state where they are.
Brings me back to my initial question to you about what it is that you are basing your optimism on regarding the improvement of services and other deliverables in these municipalities. You say there are 41 municipalities that are under administration. What sort of improvements have they seen since they have been placed under administration?
In fact, part of the proposals that we're making to the ANC now, because most of these municipalities are run by the ANC, we're saying, first, let's look at the funding model that is given to which is used to fund local government. It cannot be correct to say municipalities are the cold face of service delivery, but yet when national government appropriate its revenue, it only gives 9% to local government.
Fair enough, and I appreciate that you're being proactive in trying to provide solutions, but my question to you is, has there been any improvement in those municipalities that were placed under administration?
At the point where we're standing now, there are some that are showing some improvement there and there, but the improvement is slow because what you might also require is that these municipalities, they don't have any base of revenue where they can say they can improve anything else. They are relying only on equitable share. That's why we're raising the point about changing the funding model of local government and looking at what should come out of the national fiscus to local governments, because at the rate at which they are.
So the answer is placing municipalities under administration as we speak hasn't really proved to showed any signs of improving the fate of those residents living in those municipalities.
It has not shown significant improvement. That's what I'm saying. It is not a permanent solution. It's a temporary. It's like someone saying, you are sick, let's go in for you to get medication, but the treatment is for you to stabilize you so that you can come better and be someone better as you go along. But in terms of dealing with the symptom, the root causes of what we have, it's mainly about what you need to put together and assemble for governance purposes, for funding models to be changed, and ensure that we have the right leadership in place to do what is supposed to be done.
Wouldn't love to, but I have to leave it there. Thanks so much, Koena Ramotlou, General Secretary of the South African Municipal Workers Union, for talking to us about the recent court judgment that ordered that an administrator be appointed for the Makana local municipality as it had failed to provide basic services to the people in that municipality. We're going to take a break.